this guy that used to run the SAP, Dan Lane. He used to tell us, you could take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But the other part of that was you can make them thirsty. And for me, like, I'm trying to make people thirsty for change, thirsty to make a different lifestyle, thirsty to not indulge in that violence, thirsty just to do something different and bring healing to our communities. So that's really where I'm at. And that's all I got to say. Thank you, guys.
How's everybody doing tonight? All right. My name is Manny Aguilar. For those of you who don't know me, resident of Salinas all my life. Grew up in Salinas, and substance abuse counselor here at CTF Soledad. Been there for 4 years now, and it's been a great journey. Just to be there and be able to pour out what we have in our hearts, be able to pour out to men and you think you don't want to expect nothing, but you know what? Sometimes you sit back and say, man, they did it, and you see the results of the little that you put into it, and so I say that to say this, that I enjoy what I do. I've been doing it now, and I'm going to continue doing it. So I just want to thank each and every single one of you who are here. I don't know a few of you, but I know of you. I know that everybody had something to do with my success and my journey of growing as a counselor still. And I thank you guys. All right. I really do. I really thank you. And, man, me and Debbie Aguilar, we go back since high school. And back in high school, I met her. We used to throw these big dances, Bubba G Scotch. And we used to throw these big dances at all the high schools, and no matter what high school we played at, Debbie showed up, and her and her boyfriend would show up to these dances and stuff. And she wasn't an Aguilar back then, but later on in life, I reconnected with her, and she was an Aguilar. And we call each other cuz, because I'm an Aguilar. So what up, cuz? We weren't cousins, but we called each other cousins, and we stuck with that. And it became a family affair. We really meant when we called each other family, we really meant it. In 2008, when I switched over from the car business to working with youth for the city of Salinas, 2008, I became a street outreach worker for the city of Salinas. And we used to do these events in the city. There were block parties, and Debbie's group would be there, and she'd introduce me to her group. She would tell me a little bit about what she's doing, circles for the women at Hebron. She would tell me that she just inspired, but because of what had happened to her son. And then in 2008 or 2009, the city of Salinas put together this community response team, and where it was designed to respond to homicides. Back in the day, homicides were up. 90% of them were juvenile homicides, and so we started to respond to these homicides. We'd go to the tape and we'd cross the tape, and right off the bat, Debbie was part of that team, and her impact on those families, you can really see her passion just to make sure that no matter who it was, that that they understood that there was someone there for them. And some took, some didn't. And at the end of the day, our main focus was to make sure that the victim's family and the other families were there were services for them. Somehow, some way we'd figure out a service for them, whether it be taking them food or taking them to, or just providing them a church. My church would open up, just, making sure that they were taken care of. And that was really exciting. We did that from 2009 to 2011. And as far as that's concerned, we just continue to move. very active in the community, continued to be active in the community. And my history, once again, 2017, I end up in working for Phoenix House. And I think it was 2018, right, Belle, when we did our first, when I got to participate in the first Victims Crime Week in 2018. So I've been part of that since 2018, and I've been honored. It's been an honor to be part of that. You just don't know the impact unless you've gone to an event like this, that you see, not because, we're at a prison and you think, oh man, everybody's, all these guys are gonna learn a lesson. No, you know what? The way the speakers would come and speak to the men was never designed to make them feel any different, other than, someone here, regardless, we love you, regardless, we care about you. And that was heavy. So again, this year's 2022 is going to be awesome. We're kicking it off tonight, and I find it a privilege and an honor to be here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Edwards. It is certainly an honor and privilege to be here, and I'm going to try to get through this without crying. Oh, so, I was, I am a survivor and a perpetrator of violence. I am a substance abuse professional and counselor. I'm a family and parent educator, and I'm all about healing and breaking cycles. And man, I started out in 2009 in my substance abuse career at SAP, and got the privilege, right, of showing my ass and learning some real hard lessons there, and really humbling myself, and really, man, I can't even put into words the experiences, the lives that have impacted my life. I've been trained and taught by the best right here in this room. That's for sure. I would not be where I am today in my career if it were not for the men in this room right now. So Josh D, please take note of that. These men do some really, really powerful work, both inside and out. And their work started inside. And man, I was just so privileged to be part of that groundwork, part of that first Victims' Rights Week presentation at SAP. And man, I just got off the phone right before I got on this call because today I run a methadone program, a medication-assisted treatment program. And we also have a federal contract, so I work with federal parolees. Man, I just cannot get out of the criminal justice system. That is where my passion is. I know we've got time limits and stuff. I don't want to go on too long, but I definitely want to get this message across, is that, that is the best work in my life that I've ever done, that and working with families, and it all just kind of carries through. And, I remember early working with families and working with Debbie Aguilar. I'm from here in Salinas, and I also work for Partners for Peace, and I've been working with them for even longer, since 2007, because my family and I were products of that program, and anyways, I just, Debbie, I remember in the early days, and she was, and the work that her and Manny and Dan Villarreal and so many wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people that hit those streets and did all that outreach. And I was just really privileged to be part of some of the back end office work of some of that, at the time. And also today, we continue to break those cycles. I work with families. I've currently, not only work in substance abuse, but I work with families. I work with whole families. We have programs out here that we're constantly, Leo, constantly working to create that change and break those cycles and teach parents new parenting skills and teaching kids how to relate to their parents so that we can break these cycles so that they don't continue on and into the streets and not just substance abuse, but violence and not only that, just the behaviors, teaching emotional awareness, all those things that come along with the work that we do. And I don't want to keep rambling because I feel like I'm rambling, but I'm just so privileged to be here. I'm just so privileged to have been taught by so many of you, and just so honored to to be amongst the best. So thank you for allowing me here.
Thank you, Melissa. We love you.
We love you. I love you.
What's up with Leo, though?
I know, huh? Look at that new baby.
What's up, guys? Good evening, everybody. Man, sorry I jumped in late. Got daddy duties running around with the babies, but honored, man, honored to do this one more time, and hopefully we can do this to the end of time, man. National Victims' Rights for me has been an eye-opening experience, from thinking I was a good guy to realizing I was creating victims, man, throughout life. Just real quick, like I've told many of you that are on this call, I mean, I started with Manny and Melissa teaching Strengthening Families, to begging Melissa to get me a job at the prison, and got it, and she opened the door for me, man. After that, I took off. I met all my teachers, which were all you gentlemen that you guys, used to wear a jumpsuit and now wear suits, man, and make way more money than I do. But and I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that. You guys taught me a lot, as well as allowing to listen to me. You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to take the time because I know we're kind of tied up with time. But just to touch on honoring Debbie. Debbie was putting in work in this community for a long time, and when I would first see her before I started working with at-risk youth or even in the prison system, I was like, man, this lady is ruthless, man. She is like at every city pop-up, she's speaking, like every time she gets a limelight, she's gonna jump on it. And at first, I was like, man, this lady needs to chill. But when I came to realize the strength and power that she possessed behind her presentations and what her delivery was, or what she wanted to deliver to everybody, that's when I realized, like, man, I was on the wrong side of the street the whole time, looking at her bad and realizing that she's doing amazing work, man. So, I appreciate everything she did and helping us out when we would do our Victims' Rights a week. And it's a good day to honor those, I jumped on when Corey was on, and listening to his story and saying what he said about, we're the voices of the victims we created. You know what I mean? So making sure we corrected, and making sure, as you guys seen, I had to carry my little baby around because she was getting fussy. Making sure I teach them. Starts with our family, and then we extend out to the community. For me, it's coaching. For some of you guys, it's work. Whatever it is, we just got to deliver it. And I appreciate it. Thank you guys for inviting me. It's an honor, it's a privilege to be here in this call with a bunch of amazing men and women, and I've seen a couple of the faces on there, and there were some faces that I haven't seen that I've seen on there, man, that I'm really happy to see on this call. So love you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you for letting me jump on real quick. And whoever's next, go ahead.
Love you, Coach.
All right, let me go ahead and tap in. My name's Buddy Velarde, formerly incarcerated in 17 years. And I got to say that my change started with Victims' Rights Week. Went to that trailer in SAP and was hooked ever since. They asked us to go in there and drum some songs, and seeing the work that they were doing in there. And I remember telling Miss Edwards, hey, how do I get in here? And filled out an application, got hired, man, and my change started in those process groups. I wouldn't be the man that I am today if I didn't do the work, and a lot of the work that I did is because of the guys that are right here in this meeting right here, and women. Miss Edwards, I know you're still there, but sitting in groups, I had the privilege and to work in SAP and did the victim zip pack, and Debbie Aguilar came in and she brought some people with her, and very powerful messages. And it's people like that I get to hear, where I know that the work has to be done, because if the work's not done, then you're just faking the funk. And if you're faking the funk, it's gonna come out in your behaviors, man. So I know we're short on time, and I just want to say, man, keep doing what we're doing, and we're changing lives, man. So you guys have a good night.
All right, I guess it's me.
That leaves us Dr. Melvin Reed.
So 89 days before I got incarcerated, I wanted to join the Marine Corps. And that didn't happen. I went to prison at 18 years old. And going through prison, I got involved with politics immediately, gangs, violence, all of it. Never once when I lived that life did I think about the people I harmed. I was selfish and self-centered. I went to the board in 2009, sat before Commissioner Anderson, Arthur Anderson, and I received a 10-year denial. A 10-year denial that I blamed on everybody else but me. And then continuing on, I did that whole 10 years, but I made my way to Soledad. And in making my way to Soledad, I sat on one yard where I continued to be involved with criminal behavior and criminal thinking. An opportunity opened up to go to L-Top. I took it. I talked to Coach. Coach sat down and he interviewed. And then I finally got in. I met Buddy, Alex, Frank, Kike, Gilbert. And then I got into L-Top. I was in redemption. And that word rang true to me. And I remember Gilbert had this poster up above the door that said, "Nocete te ipsum." And that's Latin for know thyself. And I continued to look at that. Every time we came into the redemption room, I would always look at it. And I would listen to his mentoring. And I would try to find out what my identity was. Was I a criminal? Was I the trauma that I had gone through? Things that I hadn't even thought of, I started to think of because of Gilbert's mentoring. It's phenomenal. Talking with Buddy, phenomenal. Alex, Frank. I went to the board again, listening to Frank DeLeo tell me constantly in my ear, if you have power over yourself, you have power over your circumstance. Don't do all the criminal stuff on the yard. If you go and walk the walk and talk the talk, you got to be 100 about it. That was Frank in my ear. And then he paroled. And he told me I could do the same thing. And I'm free. See, you men have changed my life by inviting me in to learn, to participate in National Crime Victims' Rights Awareness Week, trusting me to write a play, to produce the play, to act in the play, to send the message, giving me the opportunity to be the real me, to express my knowledge of self. Today, I've been out of prison for 5 months. I was working 2 weeks after I got out of prison Today, I am the manager of acquisitions and talent for Urban Alchemy. I have a salary. I have my own apartment. I'm about to get married. I own a vehicle. I'm living my life the way it was supposed to be lived. While I was in prison, I earned a master's degree and a doctorate. Today, I help save lives. And it's because of everybody on this panel. I love y'all, man. Thank you.
Thank everybody for sharing. This is powerful. We're under an hour too. It actually worked. There's so much more. This is just the tip of the iceberg, man. There's so much story behind what everybody shared here, and it goes deeper, and there's a lot of people missing. There's a lot of people. We took a picture. I know before I came home.
Hey, Bayo, excuse me, you forgot Josh.
Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Please do,
let him get in there.
Yeah,
Get in there,
Josh.
No, man, I appreciate all the shares and just hearing everyone's story. It's really amazing. And then, I shared before the recording started, I'm a prosecutor for the district attorney's office down here in Southern California. And, I've dealt with a lot of victims over my time. I actually struggle with alcoholism myself. And that's how I know Alex is because I live currently at the same sober living home that Alex lives at. And so I'm in a very interesting position on a day in and day out basis to, see what choices and decisions can do for victims. Choices and decisions can make for, criminals. I see the impact that it has on, my own mental, the things that I see and deal with day in and day out. Like I said, I've dealt with, child molest, sexual assault, working with victims in that area, domestic violence, and I have to, especially when it comes to domestic violence, my alcoholism versus dealing with victims of domestic violence and hearing those victims' story of the abuse that they've suffered because of their husband's alcoholism. It's like day in and day out, I'm hearing my wife talk to me and tell me her story. And, we all make choices and we all make decisions that have consequences. And to see like so many guys on this chat that have just, recognized those mistakes and made changes to the positive, like, Alex is one of my main mentors. Like, who would have thought that a prosecutor from the district attorney's office would be at a sober living home with, someone that beat a life sentence? And, I deal with parole hearings and, I get feedback from Alex on, what are some of the questions that need to be asked during these parole hearings, because he's put in the work. Like I heard you guys talk about earlier, it's about putting in that work. And, I've seen this man change. I've heard his story and I'm in awe of him. Like, and, the fact that all you guys are on this call and have similar stories, just impresses me beyond any means. Now, I want to take the victimization. Like I said, I've dealt with lots of victims, and it's heart-wrenching. I'm going to come at you from an attorney's perspective as the bad guy that you guys may have seen, when you were facing your charges. The ramifications of crime not only go to the victim, they go to the people that are invested in making sure that the victim gets justice. And that leads to a lot of sleepless nights, whether it's the cops, whether it's the attorney on the case, the prosecutor. Their story weighs on you. You try to figure out the best way to prove your case. You deal with to a certain extent. And like I shared with you earlier, my wife is also a prosecutor and a district attorney, and she, you know, has a harder time compartmentalizing certain things. And so, you know, she's come across cases where, you know, she gets called out to the scene of a crime, and it's like, for example, child endangerment, and the baby's drowned in a pool, and the ramifications of that, you know, every time we're at a party, every time we're at a pool, like her anxiety is through the roof because she's been to those crime scenes. She knows what can happen at those crime scenes. She's in a really bad neighborhood of the area that we work in, and her mind starts going off the rails as far as, you know, I can't get out of my car to pump gas because, you know, I've been to this crime scene. I've seen what goes down in this neighborhood. You know, like I said, when we're in trial, it's a 24/7 thing. Your mind gets occupied with how can we get justice for these victims. It's just crazy the cycle that it turns into. And the fact that there's so many people out there that don't take the second to self-reflect is heartbreaking, and it continues that cycle. But everyone that's on this thread right now is breaking that cycle. And I don't know Debbie, but geez, just hearing about her, listening to the stories about her, like that's the type of legacy that'll go on forever. And that's the type of legacy, like Alex shared with you earlier, the guy that started the sober living home, Chris Rahagi. You know, that's the type of thing that I think all of us are meant to live. Like that's the type of life that all of us should strive to live, is that long after we're gone, people are still talking about us in the same way that we're talking about Debbie, the same way that Alex and I talk about Chris Rahagi. And, you know, it only takes one comment, one action, one step to, you know, start an entire change, an entire movement, which is what you guys have kind of started. And so, like I said earlier, I'm really glad that I was a part of this. I really enjoyed hearing all of your guys' shares. Julie, Melissa, amazing. And, you know, I just can't wait to continue working with Alex. You know, we're all one bad choice and one bad decision from being on that other side of the table. And I've been there and I've done that, and I've made mistakes, and, you know, I've had to own those mistakes. And, you know, it's just really an honor to be in this room. So thank you guys for letting me be a part of it.
Hey,
Thank
Mayo,
you.
I got something. Josh, I don't know if you remember a while back, I remember having a conversation with you. Alex had called me and me and you had about a 10-minute conversation. So first, I would like to thank you for the work that you do, because unfortunately your job is necessary. But I want to let you know, to the degree that we've done the work, that we recognize the ripple effect of the first responders, the investigators, the prosecutors, and it hasn't gone unnoticed or unaware of what we put you through in the decisions that we've made and the consequences that have come from it. So I thank you for what you do. I apologize for what you and your wife have to go through. But you're right, on our best day, we're one bad decision away from being in that same spot. So I just want to say thank you for doing what you do. And Alex is a good person, a good mentor, and a good person to lean on, and you're doing the right thing. So thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. You know, in memory of Debbie and all the people that she impacted, which couldn't even fit on this screen tonight. But you know, not forget also all the kids that lost their lives, all the people that lost their lives. A lot of people, you know, that's like Danny was saying, there's no comeback from that. We demonstrated that in one of the, you know, one of the skits that we put together that will probably be performed, should be this week in Soledad. And it's, you know, with the mask, you know, we built that mask. It should still be there. And it's to demonstrate that, that once that life is lost, it's lost. There's no comeback from that. And I think our work is very important, what we've been doing. And as we move forward, we don't lose focus of that, because even everybody probably in this room has children that were impacted because of our decision and may possibly still feel the consequences of those decisions. And that's not something that just you apologize and move forward and it's forgotten. It's the body keeps the score, man, like that book says. The body keeps the score, and it's trauma. So let's all move forward, continue in our struggle to reduce recidivism, stop as much as we can from that cycle of continuing. And I hope we can do this again and send all of our love into Soledad this week and let them know that we support them and them continuing with this movement. Thank you and have a good night, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
You bet.
It was great.